Hey, I'm Denny Chapman for Taylor's Company Firearms Mounted Shooting Tip of the Week. You know, we should always remember the 4 basic rules of gun safety. Rule number 1, treat all guns as if they're loaded at all times. Rule number 2 is never point at anything you're not willing to destroy. Rule number 3 is keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. And rule number 4 is always be sure of your target and what's beyond it. Now, rule number 3 is something that comes into play with us quite often in mounted shooting. Often we see people making the mistake of riding the trigger or pinning the trigger back while pulling the hammer back, and that often results in the gun going off before we want it to. So here's a little tip to help you keep that from happening. When you aim the gun, keep your finger off the trigger, touching the front of the trigger guard. As long as you're touching the front of the trigger guard, you're probably not pulling the trigger back. Aim the gun, cock the gun, complete your grip, pull the trigger, firing the gun, watching the balloon burst, that's our follow through, and then move your finger forward, touching the trigger guard, thus taking your finger off the trigger until you're ready to aim and cock the gun again. Well, folks, rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to fire. That's your Taylor's & Company Firearms Mounted Shooting Tip of the Week.